So we've been using our normal distribution to talk about probabilities that an individual person has a certain characteristic related to the population. But we can also use that distribution to talk about an average from a group. So a sample value. How likely is a sample value to happen if we know stuff about the population? So we do that using the Central Limit Theorem. So we'll use our standard normal curve to compute probabilities for sample means. Very similar to how we did it for individuals. There's one modification on the standard deviation. And so that sample, the new standard deviation, if we're talking about a mean, we're going to do sigma, and then we subscript it with an x bar. So it's the standard deviation of the sample means. And that's equal to the original standard deviation divided by the square root of n, where n is the sample size. How many were in your sample? And the idea is, so let's say we have a whole population, we have everybody we're interested in, and we can calculate the average and we can calculate the standard deviation. Great. Right, so that's going to be pretty spread out because you have everybody taken everybody into account. Now, if we take every possible group of size n from our population and compute the average, the mean for each of those samples, and use that as our distribution. So again, we're going to take all possible samples of size n from the population compute the mean, and create a new distribution. We're not really going to do that, but that's how we come up with this theorem. Distribution, sorry. So we have our whole population. We can take every possible sample of size 30. Compute the mean for each of those possible samples, and then those means create our new distribution. So if this were the curve for the original, so if this is the population distribution, the distribution of the sample means would look very similar. It's going to have the same mean here in the middle, but it's going to be maybe a little bit higher here, and then it's going to be steeper and taller. So it looks a little bit, it's still symmetric, still has a total area of 1. Mean median mode still in the middle. But it's just a little bit different, a different shape kind of. So this sigma sub x bar, and we're not really going to call, well, it's the standard error of the mean. I'll try to use that better language. So standard error of the mean. So when we're doing these questions, how do we know if we use this formula, sigma, if we divide our sigma by the square root of n, or if we just use sigma, the standard deviation? Well, it all has to do with whether you're asked about the probability of an individual. So the probability for an individual, right, being less than some value, use sigma. If we're asked if the probability of a mean, right, is greater than some value, we use sigma sub x bar. So we take that sigma from the population and divide it by the square root of the sample size, square root of n. Okay. Now, if you're going to go ahead and do conversions, that's totally fine. If you want to go back to your standard curve, right, where where mu is 0 and standard deviation is 1, you can still use your conversion formula. So z equals, right, your mean from your sample minus the mean from the population divided by that new standard error, sigma over the square root of n. Okay. But again, our calculators are going to do that for us in the background. The only thing we're going to do is when we type, right, where we were entering sigma into 4, we'll just do the sigma over the square root of n. Okay, so first example, the average weight of full-term newborn babies is 7.6 pounds. Mu is 7.6, standard deviation, so this is still of the population, so sigma is 0.75. What is the probability that a sample of 10, what letter is 10 going to go with? Yep, n is 10, that's our sample size. We'll have an average weight, so we're talking about the average, the probability of an average greater than 8. So what's the probability that x bar is greater than 8? Our picture is going to look exactly the same, and even though, right, when I was emphasizing it up above that the means are steeper, my curve is still going to look about the same. Mu still is 7.6, right? The mean of the sample means equals the mean of the population. Okay. And we want to know the probability that, oh, it's greater than 8 pounds. Oh, okay. So somewhere over here, so we're looking for area. We know the value, so that is normal CDF. I'm going to move my light and use my regular calculator. So distribution, normal CDF. My lower limit is 8. Sorry, I have to look at my picture. Upper limit, 100 is great. The average is 7.6. Now here we go. Our standard deviation is 0.75, but then we do the correction for the sample divided by square root of 10 and paste. Wow. Okay, so the probability that the average of those 10 babies is more than 8 pounds is 0.0458, or 4.6% chance. So much smaller than, right, the probability that an individual baby would have a weight bigger than 8. Okay, example 2. Right, I'm sorry, before I go on, does that make sense to you? Right, so the probability that an individual person, right, would have, right, weigh more than 8 pounds at birth is much greater than the probability that, right, if you took a sample of 10, that average would be bigger. Because usually, right, some will be bigger, some will be smaller. They'll cancel out in a group of 10. That's why those samples are, the sample distribution, if you're talking about the means, is narrower. The means are more grouped around that middle value. Okay, example 2. The height of a human male is, same one, mu is 69.5. Standard deviation is 2.87. If a group of 30 males are measured, that's 30 good, what is the probability the average height, so average x bar, is less than 68? Okay. Same version as the one we just did. Put your mu in the middle. 69.5. 68 is to the left. And we want to be less than, so shade the area we're looking for. Again, we're looking for the area. That's our normal CDF. Grab your calculators. Distribution, normal CDF. Gosh darn it, I need, negative infinity, so negative 100 is fine. My upper limit, I'm stopping at 68. My mu is 69.5. My sigma, so it's 2.87. divided by, because again, I'm talking about what's the chance that this group of guys, this group of 30 men, has an average that's less than 68 inches. Not thinking it's going to be very big. There we go. So that probability 0.0021, or, get that right, 0.21%. So not very likely at all.